All right, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Wired Sound Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, an absolute legend in Miami. We have Sinopoli. He is the co-owner of Space, the founder of 3 Points, also the co-owner of Jolene. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, he's been absolutely crushing it, and just excited to have you on. So how you been?
Good. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Had a little drive up here from Miami, but not too bad. Not Saturdays, weekends are chill.
Yeah, I know the traffic can be brutal from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, but
Yeah, I rented a house up here maybe like 8 months ago to kind of see if I could live up here.
in Fort Lauderdale,
Like have my office and club life down in Miami and see if I can kind of pull up and get a nice crib up here. But some days it was like 45 minutes, some days it was like an hour and a half to get down there. It's so erratic
yeah,
with all the construction. So
I know.
I should be up here more because there's a lot.
It's
to
slowly
offer.
developing. Fort Lauderdale's got
It's
potential,
fucking
but
a vibe.
it's no
I mean,
Miami yet.
Yeah, but I like Delray and I like Hallandale Beach. I like all of it. I want to be up here more on the weekends, but that's the only time I think I feel safe driving it because it's a shit show sometimes on 95 coming down. So
Yeah.
I don't do it as much as I should.
Well, appreciate you coming out for this.
Yeah, for sure.
So you were just saying you were coming off of the Mochak calling
Yep.
party. How was that?
It was great. Super surprising to see his rise. You know, he was a COVID DJ, if you will. I mean, he was DJing long before that, but I call the COVID DJs mostly visual DJs because we were doing so many streams at the time. The world was streaming, so people that kind of blew up at that time had to have a real visual presence. You got to look at the people that came out of that moment. He's one of those guys I think went viral for the way he would dance and how passionate he was when he was playing. And when we got the first play from him in 2021, I think it was, the first time he played with us, he was an amazing DJ.
Was it after the box? Like the video I saw from Mochak was like the boxing video where he
Exactly,
was.
yeah.
That was the one that I
think so.
Just crazy that you can like associate a specific video to a DJ and being like that was the one.
You know, it's interesting. There's a David Byrne book called How Music Works that I reread every like 6 or 7 years because his whole theory is that over the history of music in humanity, the superstars and the genres that blow up are completely dependent on how humanity absorbs music at that moment. So classical music came from churches, and people were going to church and listening to music in these cathedrals. Jazz music was a response to prohibition, speakeasies, African American culture not being able to play in the right theaters, so going into bars and playing like crazy funk and jazz music. Everything, even EDM music, was the rise of clubs and festivals. You know, that was where we were listening to it. Strip clubs have created all this type of hip hop, mumble rap, and all that bullshit that's come out is really simplified strip club music. So you look at COVID, we were absorbing streams.
Yeah.
So motherfuckers like Mochak probably wouldn't have popped off unless we were looking at music in a way different way. People weren't partying on the dance
visual
floor.
aspect,
Exactly.
yeah.
And you were also, there's weirdly regions were opened up and certain regions weren't open up. So there's so much people observing partying before they could party in their region.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys, and he's done maybe 15 shows with us since then, and he headlined 3 Points last year. He closed the main stage.
Okay.
And he sold 10,000 tickets last night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Crazy to make that much of an impact in such a short period of time, really. It's 3 years. Like,
his manager is Vintage Culture's manager as well.
okay.
They're really smart.
Yeah.
This guy named Gugo is who we talk to a lot, and Brazilian culture is really fucking cool. Like, it's the drum patterns that he brings into his music, the crowd, the energy. People are really dancing. He's very proud
Yeah.
to be Brazilian too. So
Do you notice that like the artists that are succeeding the most have a solid team around them? Is that
Of
a
course.
common theme? It's
Yeah, yeah.
very rare to see like a solo artist that's like all of them.
man, I mean, I think it can happen. You know, it's not one or the other, but I think you look at John Summit, for example. He is an incredible DJ. He's he's going to be one of the greatest EDM producers and electronic music producers of this era, like it or not. He will be, because his productions are transcendent, right? To me, sometimes they can be too big. It's not something I would play in my set, but they're such well done music. But he has the most incredible grounding management. Like, there's this guy named Holt and Parker that represent him that are super down to earth guys.
Yeah.
They get it. They're not lost in the sauce. They also have Leighton Giordani and Ranger Trucco.
Okay.
He has a really good creative team around him. He has one of my mutual people that works with us. Her name's Shiley.
Okay. Yeah.
She's his creative director, and his team helps ground John's aspirations, John's ups and downs. Like, John wouldn't be fully John without that team around
Yeah.
him.
And they probably came up with them or some of that. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I always see managers, they come up with the artist as opposed to
I
like,
think that's the best.
yeah, signing like down the line and being like, oh, this manager's going to blow me up. It usually is the other way around, right? Like they blow up together.
Yeah,
they come
because
up
the
together.
managers are more of like advocates for the artist. So they're out there defending what the artist wants. And they also, if a good manager can close a door with an artist and be like, yo, you're being a douche.
Yeah.
That's not,
Like
yo,
an
yo.
ego check.
Yeah, listen, yeah, they can ground you. And the artists that I think are the most successful with the management relationships are always willing to always willing to stay open to listening to their managers.
Yeah. And
But
I'm
yeah,
sure
John has that.
that probably makes it easier for you on the other side of things, right? Just to have a down to earth team, even at that level, right? They're still down to earth, and you feel like they're like, there's no egos involved, and it's just about doing what's best. For,
Yeah, I mean, it changes, right? Like my conversations with John when he was wanting to play space so bad, and we were going to give him a shot, was way different than me trying to fight off of like a live radius to get John to come back to play to the club. And the business changes as the money increases.
They evolve, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like it's good to have a level-headed manager in the room, because the agents are always going to try to get the most amount of money. So for us, we have really good relationships with agencies and with managers. So if an agent we feel like is being
Like over the top with it.
I just text somebody and be like, yo, I need you to at least check in and make sure that this is exactly what you guys want to do, because it feels unreasonable.
Yeah.
And you get the right people, they can talk you through it.
Okay. So how are you picking artists? Like, do you have a team that's really like sourcing who's up and coming for like newer art? Obviously.
For who we booking?
Yeah, for who you're booking and like the next big ones that you think are going to blow up.
I think my time of finding the next talent has passed. I've been booking music for about 20 years. So I made my career booking the things that were new and fresh before they blew up. But I am now so absorbed with running the businesses as well that you got to really be on that shit 365. I find that I dig for music because I DJ a lot.
Okay.
And I listen to people when they're speaking to me about certain genres of music. So we have an incredible team. We've mentored some really amazing bookers to come up. We have this guy named Carlos on our team that's phenomenal. He understands jam band music and Afro house and the next big indie act to come. He has a really nice wide range.
Okay.
I have Sister System, Shiley, Archangel that's on my team, True Vine, which I think he's a Pembroke boy. He's been with me for about 10 years. Michelle Granado, Johnny from Space.
So they're kind of like helping pick out the acts that they think are.
Yeah, and each of them has like a lane, and they all support. And then there's a girl named Danny that also books with us. They all support my partner Davide, who's primarily the booker for Club Space.
Okay.
He oversees the booking department, and he's very collaborative with my team that does mostly of the 3-point stuff. We do a lot of the Jolene things. We intersect a lot.
Yeah, with 3-point space.
But I'm not picking more. I'm listening to people that are presenting to me of people. Like, I will have my favorites because of what I like to DJ.
Yeah.
And I'll be tracking it. But I found sometimes that my favorites lately are the obscure ones. They just don't do the business.
Okay.
So I have to be...
You're saying like tickets, people through the door, yeah.
For sure. They're a little bit too edgy or a little bit too on the left. So I have to stay balanced and listen and think about support and, not take too many risks.
Everyone fits, yeah.
3 points. 3 points. I express myself a lot more.
Yeah.
Booking, that's still something I always touch in, and I'm very involved, and every decision goes through me on that one. But I'm still collaborative, way more collaborative than I was when I was coming up.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the party side of things.
Yeah.
Because obviously the parties at Space, for example, are legendary. They go till 11, 12. What's the latest time it went from the night before?
I think we had a 48-hour party once that went all the way into deep into Tuesday.
Oh my God.
That started at Sunday at 11.
Who was playing? Was it just
those parties are usually closing parties.
Okay.
So every 3 hours somebody new comes up, and we've gotten really good at doing timed entry tickets.
Okay.
So we will, sell an after 10 p.m. ticket and know that Marco Carollo is coming on at 10 p.m. So and we also have learned how people move in and out of our club. Mm-hmm. So we'll lose 30% of the crowd. We'll check that data for a year and realize that at that time, typically 30% of the club will leave at that time.
Okay.
So when we're pricing a ticket out and we're doing scalings, we are picking that time to refresh 30% new tickets.
Yeah, that's smart, yeah.
The marketing team and the booking team are pretty aligned on how to keep the club feel fresh and keep the party going. Because as long as there's a dance floor, Space stays open.
Yeah, I love it. Are you staying for most of these parties, or are you kind of checking out?
No, I come in and I come out.
Okay. Make sure everything's running smoothly.
Yeah, those long parties, in particular, those are mostly me and my two partners, rotating time. My two partners do more time in the club than I do.
Okay.
But I was just telling Tyler, I live a block away from Space, so I can be there in a jiffy.
Yeah.
And when the club is open, I'm on all the chats and I'm watching the POSs and I'm watching the cameras and I'm checking in on it, but I might have dinner or take a nap or watch some shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say your sleep schedule, it's gotta be a little messed up, right?
On Miami Music Week, Art Basel, 3 Points, you just you sleep when you can.
Yeah.
You get 5-6 hours of sleep. We don't drink.
Okay.
It's a big thing. I don't drink when I'm on those big weeks. I try to work out. I try to go into the sun. I try to jump in the ocean.
Just ground yourself a bit
as much as you can, man. It's gonna wear you down, but it's just it can wear you down faster if you drink or you miss some of those habits.
Okay. And 3 Points, same kind of deal? Or are you just kind of game face, not really drinking?
Yeah.
Or are you enjoying it more?
I drink on the Sunday. We have a lot of staff closing parties.
Yeah.
We did one with the Flowery last and 710. I mean, you guys,
okay. My brother's company, yeah.
Yeah, I think they rolled about 10 pounds worth of joints for a closing party for our staff.
Oh my God.
We like to make sure that the people that are going into the weekend of 3 Points, that are working behind the bars, that are working on the floors, that are really sacrificing their good time to make money and to contribute to everyone having the things they need. We like to let them know that they have something at the end of the weekend.
That's just for them.
That they can look forward to. And it tends to make them in a better spirit when they're working.
Yeah.
So those parties are when I let loose.
My brother took me to that one. It was awesome.
Went to that Sunday party? Yeah.
To the closing party. It was crazy. I mean, everyone's smoking and having a great time.
Yeah,
and
you
have
all
that
the
room.
staff,
Yeah.
and everyone's pretty happy. If the weekend went well, we're really positive. But 3 Points is it comes really fast and it goes really fast. You plan it for like 350 days, and then you get to it, and it's like pop.
Yeah. It just
So
feels like-
I try to take it in as much as possible, and but there's a lot of shit happening, and so most of my time there is really in the minute, in the moment.
So it seems like you've been super influential, bringing like more of the underground sound to the scene, and now it's almost like the underground's becoming like almost mainstream now.
Sure. Yeah. It's
What was
turning.
what was that journey like, and how did you know like that was the lane you were gonna like start really focusing on and not
I didn't.
just kind of?
No, I was an indie rock kid, and I got into house music through LCD Sound System and Justice. Like, I didn't listen to repetitive electronic music until I was like 25, 26. And I was at Coachella, and I saw Justice in 2008, and I was like, oh shit, word. That's 6 songs for 60 minutes. That's not a rock. Mm-hmm. It is a rock show, but I was in a trance. And then I ended up getting into more like indie dance music.
Okay.
It progressed into house music, into soulful house. I was really into like Moody Man and Theo Parrish and Motor City Drum Ensemble. Like, those are some of the stuff I was really going into. But Link Miami Rebels with Davide and Coloma was having their own movement through the Electric Pickle, through Trade and Treehouse, and they were definitely in the underground scene full time. 3 points, and what I was doing was like 1 foot in live music, 1 foot in electronic music.
Yeah.
I was mostly like into DJ Shadow and Aphex Twin, and they were more into like Sven Vath and, you know, Marco Carolla and Jamie Jones and Get Lost. Like, they were really true to that. So I would start leaving my parties and go to their parties at the end of the night and meeting up with those 2 motherfuckers and drinking
Yeah.
at their techno parties or their house
Yeah, I
music
remember
parties.
Electric Pickle. I went there a few times.
Yeah.
Is it still going?
No,
It's a
no.
vibe. The sound system was so good there.
So good, and they had this party at a place called Trade, RIP Trade. It was dark, it was loud, and at 4 a.m, 5 a.m. on a Friday night, like, Bardo would close, and I would head over there and hang out with them, and the culture was really deep in the underground there. So when we had the opportunity to do space, the idea was for us to come and merge it all together.
Yeah.
And work together, and that's what took me to that path.
Did the idea from space like come at like a 5 a.m. party and you guys were just vibing out and you're like, yo, we should do this? Like,
It never is like that. It's always like, there's an opportunity. We got to take a really big risk. We think it could be good, but we might fall on our face.
Yeah.
Taking over a club of that reputation, at that moment in 2016 when we took it over, it was in a really low place. It was very, very dark. And a lot of people thought it was crazy. I asked a lot of people to help me invest into that because we didn't have the money fully.
Yeah.
I had 90% of people told me no. Like, straight up. Like,
Kicking themselves right now.
There's these 2 promoters that I still see them out. Like, they come to the club all the time, and they're cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But I offered it to them, and I offered them like a share for a really crazy rate because I knew that they would help the push of it.
Put it on, yeah.
They were really good with VIP tables, and they told me no. They said, you have big balls, but we don't want to get we can't do that.
They gotta be kicking themselves. That's like a
You know, it feels in hindsight like a slam dunk, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was
Yeah.
very risky. It had a reputation. Turning it around seemed like, you can't turn that around. That thing is dying.
yeah.
But
Yeah, it was not like the same. It's not. I mean, people don't know. I think this story of space and like how long it has been around.
For sure.
It had a peak, and then it definitely had a lull. Where
Exactly.
And now it's like I would say it's the top club, and definitely the U.S. I mean,
I appreciate that, man. And that's a collection of a lot of people at the right place at the right time. It's cool to be on these things. It's cool to be recognized, but like, I have a really amazing team that puts in the hours and puts in the work with me. There's a lot of people that have their contributions and their fingerprints on what space is right now,
yeah,
well outside of me. We defer a lot to the people that work in the operations, like my GM. Her name's Lisa. The management staff that we have there, between Ling and Miguel and Don and Jackie and Stevie and Nat, there's like crazy, devoted, focused people that make space what it is. They hold the security up to a standard, the bar staff up to a standard, the cleanliness of it. Like, we can make decisions. The three of us make decisions a lot, but we don't dictate.
Yeah.
We bring something up, they work it through, and then they execute it, and then we talk about it. So there's a lot of people that are involved in there. Lucas, that have made Space
what it is today.
Yeah, it's all those people that have really changed it from that period of time to what it is right now.
What kind of advice would you give DJs trying to get into Space or trying to perform at 3 points or just like trying to come up in general?
In Miami?
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah, Miami's, I think the easiest thing to do is be a supportive community member. So there's a lot of like people throwing parties right now. We're supporting a lot of people that are throwing parties, be it Groovers Only, House Hats. My cousin who's here tonight, his name's Generous B. Shout out Generous B. Generous B Presents is a party that he does that basically puts on a lot of people from Miami, a collection of different DJs, usually first-time DJs in Jolene Space or in the Space 3 Points Floyd world. Mm-hmm. And we get like information from that party. How did they play? Like, what was the groove? How many people clicked in? How were the numbers? You know, Ben, with a collection of our Jolene staff, gives us that input. We listen to it and we think about it. I mean, he has this guy named Hakuna, who he's been up my ass about for like the last 6 months. Like, you got to book him. And I think he's finally got his first gig without Generous B Presents. There are people that I think they're going to play the next Misty party that we're doing. So I think getting involved in these smaller parties, supporting that, showing up for people when they're playing, you know what I mean? Like being that person that's in the dance floor that brought 3 friends because your homie's playing. That kind of back and forth, I think, makes you catapult really quickly.
Yeah.
You got to be a good DJ. You got to
at the end of the day,
you got to play the right tracks and you got to read the room. But I think the people that are really excelling in Miami right now are people that can bring a crowd locally.
Yeah.
When they play. And I find that that's people that are very involved in their community.
Yeah, so social media, all that stuff is secondary, really.
I think so.
Because, yeah.
I think that's support stuff.
Yeah.
So when people want to check in on you, they can get their information on you. And, dude, there probably is people that are interested in social media and then show up to your gig. That could happen. But if you're talking regionally, like how to get them involved in Miami, I think it's show up for your people. When you get your opportunity, prepare, rock it.
Yeah, I think that's one great thing about clubs and just DJing in general is it kind of grounds us. It gets us off of socials a little bit and like makes it so you're just there for the experience. It's a real life thing. Like that's why, it's a vibe. I mean, obviously I've seen TikToks of Space and stuff, which have probably brought
Rufus last week was all phones when they played, but Space is a place where if they're gonna play their hits, the phone will go up. But
phones
then
are gonna come up.
I think phones go down and people vibe because there's not this like urgency. You know, these are longer parties.
Any no phone parties you're thinking maybe at Space? Or
we've done them. Okay. Yeah, we did it with No Art. We did it with Solomon once.
How do you like control? I always wondered like how do you control people not being on their phones?
Well, we've locked their phones before. It's tricky because phones can also be safety for people.
Yeah, of course.
So taking away their phone and then some girl has a creep behind them and she's trying to get to her friends, like we want her to have that phone, right? But so the key is what we find is that you have these optional phone locking things. They stay in the ground, like in the downstairs of Space.
Okay.
So people can go down there, open it up and check their phone in the ground. And then they lock it back up and it goes up to the Space, no phone.
Yeah.
Now, if we see somebody pop up a phone on one of those parties, like they snuck it in and they hit a video
at it and explode,
or even having a video you see it in the air, then that person's asked to go lock your phone.
Yeah.
So we've done it before. There's a service that we work with that locks the phone. You come, you give them your ticket, you open your phone back up, you can go back and forth.
Yeah. I've seen a few clips of like it was a Summit, I think Summit playing, and then a girl was on her phone backstage, and they asked her to leave, which is. You know,
phones in the booth are wacky.
Yeah, I've
especially with DJs, you want people that at least your first like layer of people that are behind you to be in the vibe with you.
Yeah.
And if somebody's just like
sitting,
scrolling,
texting,
right, it's embarrassing.
It's a bad look. Yeah, everyone's looking at you and stuff.
Like fuck. What is it that whack up there that you had to pull up your phone and scroll?
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, when I play, I ask anybody that's around me, it's like, yo, just
No
be,
phone, yeah.
not even be no phone, just be present. If you
Yeah.
want to be up here and not on the dance floor, then
Be in the moment,
don't fuck up
yeah.
the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, go on the dance floor. I don't really play big things, but we play like little parties in Floyd and Jolene, and the people that hang out around us when we play kind of know that's a
That's
situation.
live. Yeah, so you're DJing a lot as well. I think Alexia mentioned, our assistant over here, that you have a party coming up in a little bit, right? You're playing an extended set?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah. Once a year, I play an all-nighter at Jolene.
Oh, shit, okay.
I like to not, like, if I play at my clubs, I usually play on a back-to-back.
Okay.
I have a weird thing about having a position of power and booking myself in the position of power. So the way I've justified it in my head to be able to do these things and still have fun is to play with somebody that would be having the slot. So I don't take money out of artists' hands.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Like, for some of these people, it's a way for us to get to know each other better. Like, I like to play with Baki a lot. I like to play with my homie Maccabi.
I was going to say, have you had a favorite back-to-back, or you don't want to?
I mean, on the terrace, it's with Baki.
Okay.
In Floyd, it's with Alad, Maccabi, and my friend Misty party. And then in Jolene, I think it can be with anyone because Jolene's more funky. I've played down-tempo sets with Johnny from Space. I've played up-tempo party sets with Differ and Max Stern. But this set, once a year, that sound system we have in Jolene and the setting in Jolene, I was fully involved with my partners on creating that and being in the mix and watching it and in the excitement around that system. So I have to play it by myself for once a year.
Just for the sound system and the vibe and just...
And I could be creative, and I like to dig.
Yeah, what's the date on that?
I think June 21st.
Okay, got to make sure to mark that on my calendar.
Yeah, come. It's fun for me, and DJing is something that has been very therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
And it keeps me connected to why we do this shit.
I should have started this interview with it, but did you start as a DJ?
No.
Okay, you started as an event.
I started as a writer
Okay.
in blog music, and then
What blog is it?
it was called Ear Blessings, but
Okay.
it was a like
One of the Hype Edit?
Hype M's, yeah.
Or Hype M.
Yeah, Hype
sorry.
Machines, those
Yeah,
things.
I was
yeah.
in the Hype M days.
Yeah, man, that was a good time in music. They were a lot of that indie rock stuff.
Yeah.
And then I became a booker at Bardo in
Okay.
Miami, and I would open up for certain things just to kind of lay the room, save budget.
Yeah.
You know, if I
It's pretty crazy though. Sorry, dude, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
you're good.
I'm just thinking from Hype M blogger to like owner of the biggest club, or it's such a wild
I didn't. Club Space wasn't in my bingo card, man.
Yeah.
But it was.
like
It just
crazy.
you have to understand that these things are not planned. They're like very much opportunity meets timing and right place, right time, and knowing to take a risk when you have that opportunity coming around.
So would that be your advice for like music entrepreneurs to take a risk, like when it feels right, or because obviously it costs money to like throw parties and stuff like that, and I'm sure
and you'll lose money for a long time.
Yeah, it's an investment, but it doesn't always pay off.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're a bozo, don't take a risk because you're probably thinking like a bozo. So I can't say that that's taking a risk is the way to do it for everyone. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of fucking people that'll take risks on the stupid ass shit and they will lose a lot of money.
Don't put the work in, and
or maybe they think they know how to do it because they watch somebody else do it. People think it's easier than it is to start a festival or start a party. It's really not.
Yeah.
So
a lot of moving parts.
You got to be really committed.
Yeah.
I think. Okay. No problem. So I think that's my key would be to really be passionate and stubborn about it, and know that even if you fail, that you're going to want to do it again.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. So we got to wrap up in a sec here. So what about on the horizon? Any festivals or things that you could talk about? Or are you sticking to?
We're doing a My Friend Misty at the Museum of Sex, bigger My Friend Misty, and July 12th, which will have 2 rooms and super immersive experience. 3 Points in October. We have the AMC Radio at Lot 11.
Okay.
That's or AMC Andrew Music Club. that we do underneath the bridge at the skate park.
I saw the Dom Dollar one.
Yeah, that was cool.
That looks sick. So wait, how'd that come about, and like, was it hard to get city officials to?
We've done it a couple times through the Andrew Music Club down there, and Dom was a skater back in the day.
All right, sick.
And he's going to be. He works with us year round, so we've been trying to figure out a time, and F1 was the
Perfect time.
Yeah, Aston Martin brought one of their cars over. It was cool.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, it feels like Miami. There's just something every weekend. Like whether it's F1 or Music Week or Art Basel, it's like nonstop.
A lot more. Yeah, post COVID, there's a lot more stuff happening.
Like Miami is the spot, so it's such a great place to be.
I think so.
All right, awesome, man. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you play. I'm definitely gonna come out for that set. Was it 21st?
21st, yeah.
Okay, very cool. Thank you again for coming on and doing this, and till next time.
Yeah, thank you.